welcome everybody. You're listening to Blood on the Mic, or you're watching us too. We're on YouTube. Our videos
we're
are
mainly on YouTube.
I guess at this point we kind of are, but they're very entertaining videos. So if you listen to us, consider that.
Consider watching us on YouTube. I put some effort into the editing, a little bit, not that much, but a little bit.
Yeah, it's worth it, I think. The show today is once again talking about all things music, as we usually do here in Blood on the Mic. But we're going to cover some new music. But first, let me introduce myself. My name is David. I am your host for today, David Mercado. And then there's my co-host,
Lewis.
Yeah, and today we're not going to be talking about anything in particular. We're going to be covering new music that's been coming out.
Yep, new music in August. What's today? August 20th?
August 14th.
August 14th.
We're in the middle of August, middle of the month already.
This will be released on August 17th, though.
Yeah, how fast this month is moving. Definitely not giving me any anxiety at all. It's just
definitely not getting anxiety from the move or anything.
No. There's
yeah. You're only gonna see this basement a few more times because I moved a while ago, 2 weeks ago, and you're gonna move in 2 weeks. So
yeah, I'll be moving in 2 weeks. So enjoy this very
dungeon-esque basement.
They don't even see the brick walls in this shot, but yeah. We'll be bringing you a new scenery next in a couple weeks or so. Yeah. All right. So we got a few songs lined up for you. It's been an interesting release week, I would say. Most of the artists we're covering are not too big, but we're gonna start off, I think, with the biggest one. Many of you in the indie world will know of this person. His name is Sufjan Stevens, and I believe that's how you say his name. That's how people.
From?
So Sufjan Stevens is from the Midwest. I always forget exactly where he was born, but I know he grew up in Chicago, and so he has a bit of a love affair with Chicago.
Well, yeah, he had that album Illinois.
Yeah,
but he also,
I think he grew up in Michigan, maybe. I don't know.
Well, yeah, because at one point he said that he wanted to make like an album for every state.
Yeah, but
he made Michigan and Illinois.
He made Michigan and Illinois, and those are, I think, the two main states that he grew up in. And then if you listen to his 2015 album, Carrie and Lowell, that one could have been titled Oregon, because there's a few songs in there. There's a song about Eugene, Oregon, and he's reminiscing a lot about, like, his mom used to live in Oregon with his stepdad, and he used to spend the summers over there. Mm-hmm. So he's definitely a very American artist. He knows America,
yeah.
At least the northern parts of America.
I just wonder where the name Sufjan comes from. I wonder if it's like...
Oh, it's a religious thing.
What religion?
So he's not of any... He's part of a religion. I forget if it was like Unitarian, but it's a religion that tries to incorporate multiple aspects of religion. And so I think his name might be from Arabic origin, I want to say. I don't know.
You can't give an Arabic name to a white guy. Like, that's weird. You can't do that.
Well, I mean, like, there's Arabic names that, like, black people use. I was just talking to my family about,
that's been normalized, though. Like,
I guess so, but, like...
And since because there's a lot of black people in Islam and stuff, and they've incorporated that into their culture.
I mean, there's a lot of, like, Spanish names that are Arabic as well.
Name one.
Like, I think... Is Lourdes one? I don't know. I have to, like, really look into it.
And there's a lot of Arabic influence in the Spanish language anyway, so that would make a little bit of sense.
Yeah, there was that cross pollination of cultural stuff, but
like white guys, like, you can't name your son like Ishmael or something like that. That'd be.
I'm almost sure that he's white, but, like, I'm also not sure how white he is.
I thought he might have been like fucking...
You're asking me this guy's bio on the fly. I read it once several years ago, and I just know that he has, like, this is the kind of upbringing that he has.
I just thought he might have been like Norwegian or something like that.
Oh no! It's a religious thing. He was part of, like, a community. I'm not sure if a cult is the right way to say it. It might just be like a Unitarian church. I don't really know. If you're anti-religion, I guess you could say they're all cults. But, like,
I had the idea that because people, if you're religious, you go to church every Sunday, and then you talk about. Well, you don't really talk about. You hear somebody talk about, like, church or whatever, and they read from the Bible. I had an idea of, like, What if instead of going to a church, you went to like a meeting, but it's like people discuss philosophy and stuff? Like they have like basically a professor up there. It's kind of like going to a philosophy class every Sunday instead of a church.
I mean, those
and they
things
talk about different philosophers and stuff, and then like.
I mean, that's happened before. It's not this philosophy club, there's that kind of thing. But I mean, in ancient Greece, like in Athens, there was a time when philosophers would just gather in the streets and like people would just talk about philosophy in the streets.
I feel like that'd be a cool thing to do if like we could start like a philosophy church, not necessarily philosophy, but like
one of my best friends is a philosopher. Like he has a philosophy major.
If you ever want to talk philosopher, he just got a degree in philosophy. Okay.
And what makes you a philosopher is if you question life and everything about it. But so in a sense, we're all philosophers.
Some people don't question life.
Some people don't, and those people I'll never understand. But yeah, I definitely would. If it's questioning things is what it makes it, then yeah, I definitely am a philosopher.
Me too. But what were you saying about your friend?
No, I mean, if you ever want to talk about philosophy, you can go into hours of like a dive, and you'll come out being like, I got maybe like 3 things out of it.
I want to meet him then because I love talking about philosophy, so I'll talk to him for hours.
Yeah, and he's pretty well versed in both the continental and the analytic sides, but that's enough for that.
Sufjan Stevens.
Sufjan Stevens. He's been putting out a few singles this year, and
he has an album coming out.
Yeah, but his releases, the way he releases stuff is frustrating to me, because he both releases like too much stuff, but also like nothing is like very few releases are actually super solid. Like he's only in my mind he only has like 3 solid releases.
Like albums?
Yeah, like for me it's like Illinois, The Age of Ads, and Carrie and Lowell. And
like those are his only good albums?
Those are the ones that like I feel like are major.
What about Michigan?
Like Michigan is an album, but I feel like Michigan. I think for that one, for instance, it's Under the Shadow of Illinois, and then
he had one about swans or something.
Yeah, and that one's the same thing. It was kind of like part of like a series of things, but he released a bunch of albums like with other people. And sometimes, like, his albums that he releases are, like, kind of experimental in some ways, or, like, they're not, or, like, I feel like the songs are not, they don't have enough meat to them, like, they're not substantial enough.
Mm-hmm.
Talking about meat, I don't even know if he eats meat, but...
I wouldn't be surprised if he was a vegetarian.
Yeah, but what I think is that all these albums, they all have in common, they all land on multiples of 5s. 2005, 2010, 2015. Ooh. So it's possible that this year, this release, whatever the hell is coming out, it's one of the more substantial ones in his discography. So we'll see. Usually, at least up to now, he's been following a pattern here for his most major releases, I would say.
So what's this song called?
This song is called Video Game. And we've been waiting for a good Sufjan Stevens song to cover because the other ones have been like 50 minutes long.
Yeah, I'm not going to do
and
that.
This one is 4 minutes long, so we're going to give it a shot. Video Game. We'll be right back with that. All right, we just listened to Video Games from Sufjan Stevens. What'd you think?
Boring. Did not like it.
I thought it was fine. I thought it was fine. I thought it was the kind of song that would land on Stranger Things kind of theme, like a soundtrack.
Yeah, it had that 80s feel. The drums felt very 80s to me, like very 80s electronic drums.
Yeah.
And
it definitely had an 80s quality to it, but it was also more like it's very more laid back. It's like it sounds pretty much like in the 80s, like not like
an 80s throwback indie song.
Yeah, 80s throwback indie song.
Which I don't tend to like those things. It had a very like, I don't know, low key kind of synth. Would you say synth pop? I guess kind of.
Yeah.
Like kind of low key, slightly darker synth pop mood, and it just kind of got monotonous to me and boring.
Yeah, and I can't quite put like one specific artist, but like, I guess you could say it's kind of like say like a Future Islands meets Hot Chip, I would say.
Yeah. But what was I gonna say? Oh yeah. So also Sufjan Stevens' voice is weird to me. Where I think it only really for me at least, I think his voice only really works in kind of like one context, which is
talking about his mother.
I didn't.
No. Okay.
The Illinois album, like that kind of sound. This electronic sound, I don't think his voice, for me at least, doesn't. It sounds weird on this kind of sound.
It doesn't sound weird to me.
Because the one I'm used to, I don't listen to a lot of Sufjan Stevens. I heard that Illinois album and like some of his other songs, like on that kind of like orchestral stuff and that kind of like grander things. I think his voice works well in that. But I don't know. His voice is kind of strange to me. It has this weird specific tone to it.
I don't think it sounds weird. I mean, it does sound like Sufjan Stevens. But I don't think his voice is even like super particular. Like it's not like, maybe to me even like, I don't know, like it's not like one of those. It's not like Eddie Vedder. Yeah.
The second.
Sorry. Second Eddie Vedder reference that we made.
He just wanted to do Chris Cornell.
I'm gonna break my. Yeah.
Kurt Cobain.
Kurt Cobain. No, I don't know. I just have to mumble some stuff, I guess. Like, my mosquito, no libido. Look at me, I said freako.
Okay, go on.
Okay.
The song's fine. I don't know. I don't like it.
It's all right.
So is this gonna be? You think his album's gonna be like an electronic thing? Like,
if it is, I'll be interested in it. You know,
because the Age of Ads was electronic, right?
Yeah, Age of Ads was more electronic, and
was it like purely electronic, or was it like did they have more acoustic stuff on there?
I don't quite remember what the like how electronic it was. It's been a while, but it's definitely more electronic than like Illinois for sure. Yeah. No, if it's electronic, I'd be excited for it.
Do you
just because like. Yeah, I feel like he still has room to experiment in
that.
Yeah.
Do you like more him doing the electronic stuff or him doing the more his other stuff, like either like his folky stuff or his like orchestral big production stuff?
I do like. I mean, the stuff from him that I've liked the most is the more like the personal songs. With some orchestral elements to it.
Yeah.
I mean, this is also coming from. I mean, the album I know best is Carrie and Lowell, song about his mother's death, and so I think it. Like I don't know, that's the one that I've gotten to appreciate the most. I've tried to get more into Illinois. I've never been able to get over like he can be a little bit over the top in terms of like. His songs, like his song titles are like overflowing.
Yeah.
And then like the concept of each song is it has a little bit of a progressive like vibe to it in the sense, a progressive rock vibe to it in that it's like these stories that he like tells.
Yeah.
Or like these ideas that like don't always.
Well, that album was specific. Yeah, that album was kind of different because like each song was like about a. Like centered on a specific Illinois thing.
Yeah.
Like there's a song about Superman that was created in Illinois. There's a song Chicago about Chicago. There's a song for John Wayne Gacy, the serial killer, who was from Illinois.
Yeah,
that's actually one of my favorite songs from him, that John Wayne Gacy one.
Yeah, it's I mean it's I appreciate that album. I would say it's just like I haven't. Yeah, I don't know. Whatever. What was even the question? I don't know.
Doesn't matter. This song sucks. On to the next one.
Doesn't suck, but whatever. I thought it was just okay. It was alright. This next one actually is called Alright, and it's by A.G. Cook. I've been kind of excited. A.G. Cook is the founder of the record label PC Music.
He founded PC Music?
I thought he did. He was definitely the head of it.
Okay, I don't know, but
yeah. I'm pretty sure he was the one who founded it.
The much talked about by us PC Music.
Yeah. PC Music's been around for
5 years.
5 years, roughly, maybe a little longer, but roughly 5 years. Yeah, it's a group of British people they've been putting together this hyper pop. Hyper pop. If you need any examples, they kind of influence the sound of Grimes and Art Angels,
Charlie
XCX, and a lot of her most recent releases. Even Carly Rae Jepsen has had like a little bit of an association with them. But
it's what we think the sound of pop music will be in the future.
Is it what it already is, really? Like Caro Bonito. I mean, all these people are
of popular pop music.
Okay, of popular music.
We're not talking about Charlie XCX. I think is the closest one to breaking through and actually becoming like a huge pop star.
Yeah, we'll say. I mean, she's. I think she's gotten the most success with the sound.
Yeah.
But there's been other people associated with PC music. Sophie. I don't know how big Sophie is, but A.G. Cook is the one who started the whole thing, and he produces a lot of stuff. He produces all of Charlie XCX's stuff nowadays, and back in the day, he had a few singles of his own. He used to work hand in hand with this artist called Hannah Diamond, and she dropped an album last year, but I thought that album was a bit of like it kind of went flat. I don't know, like I liked her initial singles a lot, and I think A.G. Cook's initial singles a lot too. But then Hannah Diamond kind of like deflated for me after that. But I've been waiting for like a full release from A.G. Cook, and I think this is the first one.
It definitely gave us a full release.
Yeah, it's a 2.5 hour long record called 7G.
How many songs is on it? I think there's like 30 songs on it or something like that, or 40 something.
There are
some crazy amount.
Oh man, I can't even tell you. Yeah,
it's a lot.
It's a lot.
There's a lot of covers on it too.
There's a few covers. There's a cover of Today from Smashing Pumpkins.
There's a Strokes cover, cover of a Blur song.
Yeah, the Beetle Bum song, and then there's a cover of Charlie XCX, or like a remix maybe. There's some Hannah Diamond songs that are remixed it as well. But there's a Taylor Swift song in here, and you know it's a mixture of stuff, but there's also a lot of originals. And this one that we're going to listen to is an original. It's called All Right. And where did it go? There it is. Okay. So we're going to listen to All Right from A.G. Cook, and then we'll be right back and tell you a little bit about what we think about it.
Cool.
Yeah. All right, we just listened to A.G. Cook with his latest, one of his latest songs of many. This one's called All Right. And why did we pick the song?
We picked the song because I think it's the closest thing to a single off of this album. It had like a visual to it.
Yeah, and we didn't watch the visual, but
it's a lot of songs to go through, so we're like, what's one that we can pick? It's
yeah.
But I actually love that song. I liked it a lot.
Well, to me, I thought like I don't know how to feel about it. I mean, I don't dislike it. I think it's mostly because it wasn't annoying enough for me to dislike it. If that makes any sense.
It's like, I don't know. It for some reason gave me like a Brockhampton vibe. They have some songs that are like that, and there's like specific, like the melody in parts and like the way that he uses auto-tune in it sounds a little bit like Brockhampton to me.
To me, it sounds like it reminds me a lot of like Owl City. But there's but not as like not as like chorus driven as Owl City. It also kind of reminds me of oddly enough a little bit of like those Juice WRLD songs on Legends Never Die. The more pop punk oriented songs. Because at some point there was like, wasn't there like a trap beat like to it a little bit like
in this song?
And like at the start of it, I heard like the like I don't know like the
maybe like a little bit, but I don't know this song. I don't know. There's something about it because I think on paper the song doesn't work, like because there's not much of a chorus or much of verses or like I don't even know what they're saying. I don't know who's singing on it. There's a bunch of different voices that I can't make out.
Yeah, it's a very ephemeral song. I mean, maybe it's purposely that way because it is the closer to the album.
Yeah, and I think in the I haven't listened to the album, but knowing that it's the closer, I think it works as a closer.
Yeah, I think it could. Yeah.
Also, I just love the vibe on it. I don't know why. It's like really.
It also reminded me of some of the slower songs on that Daft Punk have put out. Mm-hmm. Like something like Digital Love. You know the song?
No.
Last night I've done the around you.
Oh yeah, I know that song.
And they reminded me a little bit of that song. There's definitely a little bit still of like that like the kind of like late 90s pop that like girls like school-age girls would listen to like in their bedroom while stroking their like stroking their My Little Ponies.
Okay.
You know, actually,
I'm just saying you already can't get within 100 feet of the school.
So, one of our older cousins, she used to have this giant, like she used to have like dozens of My Little Pony dolls in her room. I like never went inside her room. I don't know. But I remember one time like looking through the door, I was like, "Geez, this girl like loves My Little Pony," and like by the time that like by this memory, like by that time she was already like in high school, like she was like 17 or something like that.
I don't know. I think it's acceptable for girls to have like stuffed animals and shit when they're too old for it.
They do it. I guess the verdict is out on like how.
I mean, socially acceptable. I think it's weird. I don't know. I don't remember having any stuffed animals. I don't remember having many toys as a kid, but I think I just have a bad memory.
Actually, the only stuffed animals I got in high school, but they were also like gifts that my girlfriend would give me and stuff like that. So
knowing my parents, they'd probably be like, "Don't give that kid a stuffed animal; it's gay." I don't know, that kind of thing. Having 3 boys in a very Christian household, there's probably never any stuffed animals in there.
And my sister's, Monica in particular, my sister definitely had like a lot of stuffed animals. My mom then threw like half of them out when she like turned 15.
I feel like my mom would do the same thing.
Yeah, well, my mom made me get rid of like a lot of like I had a lot of action figures.
I remember you used to have like a Transformer or something. Or
yeah, I had
Voltron or something.
I had one of those Power Rangers. Like the individual robots can come together to make one big.
I really wanted that when every time I went over to your house, I was like, I love that.
That was my favorite toy. My favorite toy for sure. And but I gave it away to a kid that was younger. Like he came over to the house like because like their family or whatever, and like he loved that toy. And I was just my mom convinced me I'm at the age where like I don't need to be playing with it, and I'm like, yeah, your mom, you're right. Like I don't need to carry this into adulthood. Just like. My cousin didn't need to carry My Little Pony into adulthood.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know. It's weird to me because I have that same mentality of your mom, and I don't know. I feel like people would say that I mean, people have said I'm fucked up for this shit, but I'm like, I don't understand carrying that shit. My wife has a box of stuff from when she's like 5 years old, like stuffed animals and blankets and stuff, and I'm like, why do you have this shit?
Like I'll keep like I can imagine keeping like some stuff as mementos, but like. Also, my childhood was like involved moving from one country to another, and then like from one house to another, and
I moved.
Things just got lost along the way, or things were just like I wasn't. It kind of forced me to not be as attached to like physical things.
Yeah, and I moved around. I didn't move from country to country, but
but you moved around.
I lived in like I don't know, at like 10 houses over the years or something. Like when I was a kid, like I moved around a lot, so. And we would throw away a lot of shit when we moved. Like, that was my dad's shit. He's just like, throw away everything. Just keep the essentials. Let's keep going.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's my mentality now, too.
We're going to be moving pretty soon, and I'm sure, like, I'll try to keep, like, a spare. Like, we're getting rid of our foosball table. A foosball table. But, yeah, no, this song definitely has a little, like, it has a lot of nostalgia factor to it, I feel like. Or, like... It has like sensitivity or feelings to it. Also, what the hell's up with that middle section?
That weird accent, like I don't know. It sounded like some kind of like what accent was that?
I don't know. It like sounded to me like a fake Italian accent.
Yeah,
but I don't know.
And also Hannah Diamond's on the song. I don't know where.
But we don't know where.
I can't.
Was that her? Was like the other part her?
Like I don't know if like, he just manipulated her voice or something.
Yeah, one of the things about PC music is that voice manipulation. Is like a cornerstone. It's like it is what they do. It's just manipulate vocals. Which is funny because like they have all these people working on these songs, and you never know which of them has like an actual good voice. Like, I bet you Charlie XCX has a good voice, but like she gets her voice manipulated just as much as like.
Well, Hannah Diamond's voice is really distinct.
Yeah, her voice is distinct. I think she
I don't know if it's good.
I think she like already purposely tries to sing as high of a register as possible, and then that's made even higher with the effects that they add to it. But if she was in the song, then she was clearly brought down to like a male register. But I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure exactly.
Yeah, and that's why I'm like, they must have, because she has a really distinct voice. Like when she comes on a song, you know it's her.
That's what I think it would be so funny if it's her with like the weird accent.
Yeah, I know.
Like that's what happens when you get like a British girl with like a very high posh accent, and then bring her down to like a male register.
They have a different accent.
They have a different accent, yeah.
But I like the song a lot. I think because I like the ethereal vibe of it, and it feels really emotional. Like it has a nostalgic feeling to it. It has kind of like a melancholic feel to it a little bit.
It feels good as a closer. Yeah. I wouldn't want to listen to a whole album of just.
Oh no, definitely not. I mean, this one's 2.5 hours long. They have to have some variety to it.
Oh, for sure.
So that's A.G. Cook. All right, it's pretty good. So
yeah,
it's the next one.
The next one over here is collaboration. This is another also like some funny people. FKA Twigs, who's been around for a number of years at this point.
Yeah, I think her album LP1 came out in like 2014. I loved that album when it came out. I still love that album.
I think you're supposed to read this other guy's name. It's 64 5AR.
645AR.
You sure it's not like
I always said 645AR. I've heard people on the internet say 645AR, so that's what I call them.
If I was trying to read this like numbers as letters, I would say Gassar.
I'm just gonna say 645AR.
I also want to say Cesar for some reason. I don't know. But yeah, 645AR. And
but yeah, FKA Twigs. She's big in the alternative R&B, alternative pop realm.
Yeah, she was like one of the first ones to like push this alternative R&B genre.
But like push it because there's a lot of people in alternative R&B now. Yeah, like SZA and stuff that are kind of more pop oriented. She's like very much on the experimental side.
Yeah, she's more on the experimental side. Her earlier stuff you can kind of maybe classify as trip hop, but nowadays
and she had Arca do a lot of the production. And Arca's insane. So yeah,
Arca's in there doing a lot of production, and her videos and her visuals are so out of this world.
She's very experimental. I love her.
But at the same time, like a lot of her music is still very like, if you listen to the lyrics, they're just like very like, I would say kind of regular lyrics, like is a lot of times it sounds like just a horny girl. Like
yeah, I think lyrically, I think she touches on all the same themes that a lot of like regular R&B pop artists would touch on.
Yeah,
but it's just musically and visually.
She just sounds like sometimes she just like her lyrics just sound like a Lana Del Rey. But somebody described her last album as like the quintessential art school girlfriend album.
I can see that.
Yeah. And but yeah, like that's FKA Twigs. I haven't kept up with her too much, but like I know enough about her to know. And then 645R, I don't know.
So 645AR is a current rapper who, he's making some waves because he has a very strange delivery.
I heard about 10 seconds of one of his other songs before this.
So yeah, he's never heard of 645AR, so I showed him a little bit of I guess the song for the trap
to reduce the shock factor a little.
Yeah, bit. And and literally 5 seconds in, he hears the squeaky voice and he's like, "I'm done."
Like, and he just shut it off. I got it. Like I mean, one is not something that like I'm like dying to hear, but like I'm like, okay, I get it. Like
also, I think we should watch the video to this song too because it's kind of interesting.
All right, so we'll watch the video to the song, and
so yeah, I wanted this song came out I think like a week or two ago, but I'm just like, this is the strangest pairing I've seen in a while because 645AR is like a meme, and FKA Twigs is a very established experimental, like, alternative R&B artist. So, you know, it's strange.
Yeah. But, you know, there's been odd couples.
So. Yeah. So yeah, we're going to get this video up, watch it / listen to it, and we'll tell you what we think.
All right, we just finished watching the video and listening to the song Something About You
by 645AR and FKA Twigs. That was interesting.
I have so many thoughts about it.
Throw some out.
But I think overall, I actually loved it.
Really?
It's just so
absurd.
It's so out there but also comical at the same time. Like,
and it's weird and like hearing FKA Twigs and 645AR on paper is so strange. But FKA Twigs has a pretty high voice regularly.
Yeah.
And it's weird because, like, so she'll first of all, I like the beat a lot on the song. Like,
yeah,
it kind of just as itself, it kind of works as like a sexy R&B.
Yeah, the song itself sounds like an R. Kelly and Janet Jackson duet, like back in the early to mid 90s.
So like when FKA Twigs is on it, it's like, and she has a high voice, but you know it works, and it's like, oh, this is a nice R&B, sexy R&B song, and then 645AR comes in the super squeaky highest register baby voice thing. It's just like taking that to the. That's exactly what. If you don't know what he sounds like, that's exactly what it is.
It's like taking what are the Chipmunks or whatever, like Albert and the Chipmunks or whatever.
Albert and the Chipmunks. That's their cousin that comes around every now and then. And they're just like, you're gonna make us hang out with Albert? Albert's so weird.
Hey kids, you guys want to go play some basketball? Wasn't Bill Cosby involved in that? And like the Albert,
Fat Albert, yeah,
Fat Albert,
Bill Cosby.
Yeah. All right, but. Yeah, Albert, the weird cousin. And, yeah, no, but what we're getting at? Yeah, no, they definitely sound like Chipmunks doing like a sexy R&B thing.
Yeah.
But the video really completes it because the video is, as you were describing, it's 645AR sitting behind this computer monitor.
Three computer monitors
in
the dark room watching FKA Twigs as a cam girl, like paying her money so she can like strip and stuff.
Is it a live stream or do you think it's like a? Yeah, I guess
it's a video shoot. It's not like actually happening.
You know, this is not the first time she's talked about like the video, like the video girl.
Yeah, it's a big song from her first album, Video Girl and stuff. And she did a lot of like music video. She was one of those video girls. Very early on in her career, like she did rap videos and stuff like that.
Yeah, you know, I can, you know, if music didn't pay off, I
mean, she was a dancer first and foremost. Like that was like
that's
what she did originally was like dancing and like I think she went to school for dance, like a super.
She is very fit and her moves are, I guess, like they don't feel odd to her, like she's doing
and like if you get into her stuff, like you could see that like her weird, like she has a very experimental form of dance and stuff that she likes to do in her videos and stuff, and like you see that's really upfront in her aesthetic is the way that she dances and the way that she incorporates that into her visuals.
You know what this reminded me of? A couple years ago. The friend that I was talking about philosophy. Yeah. Is that this video? Was it earlier this video?
Earlier?
My memory is so bad. But
you're like I remember a few years ago we talked about this. Like that was 5 minutes ago.
No. My friend who talks about philosophy. When he came to visit, we went to the ICA here in Boston. That's the Contemporary Art Museum here. Institute of Contemporary Art, and they had an exhibition about art in the age of internet.
Oh, that's really cool. I wish I could have saw that.
And I feel like this fits that vibe exactly. Mm-hmm. Like I feel like it's just a super aware. Both the song and the video, the combination of the two, is just a super aware like it's a super. It's an art. It's an art.
It knows how ridiculous it is.
Right.
It exploits it.
It has a little bit of that postmodernism and that like it's like a little bit tongue in cheek and like it's a self-referential and yeah, no, it's and it is extreme. Like immediately you know what it is that they're what it's about, even though like it is super weird. You know what it's about, kind of thing.
I'm surprised that you like it that much.
I like it because I think it crosses the boundary into what I consider like an art, like a music for like art's sake, if that makes any sense.
Okay.
I don't know. So it's a weird category. It's It's not the most. Yeah, it's definitely the kind of thing that you would find in like a museum. Like museums eat this whole thing up right over here.
645 AR in a museum. Okay.
Hey man, just give it a few years. It would not. There would be more surprising things in life, I would say.
So up next we have this. I don't know if this is a group or a person, but the artist is called Black Noise, and I don't know much about this. Literally this morning, I just saw on Twitter that Earl Sweatshirt tweeted out new album by Black Noise called Oblivion just released on his album. On his label. Earl Sweatshirt has a label now called Tan Cressida. So he was advertising it on Twitter, and I'm like, okay, I'll check it out.
But you've never heard of this guy before, though.
Black Noise, I've heard that name before. Like, I think I'd heard...
Was he featured somewhere? Were they featured? Is it a group or is it a person?
I don't know. I think it's a producer. Okay. Like a rap producer. Because I've seen Black Noise, I think, on production credits before.
Okay.
Like, recently. On a lot of, like... On the underground rappers that I've been talking about, like...
Yeah.
Like Mike and Medhane and Pink Sifu and people like that.
And, I mean, all these people are on this album.
Yeah, so I look at this album, and there's all those people that from that, like, rap underground I'm talking about, like Mike... Earl Sweatshirt's on the album, Pink Sifu's on the album, Danny Brown's on the album, Big Get, and Z Looper's another person. So I've been listening to this album and I like it. So I just wanted to,
take a listen to it. It's kind of a short album. A lot of the songs are like only like a minute and a half to 2 minutes. So we picked one of the longer ones. This one's 2.5 minutes. It's one that has Pink Sifu in it.
Yeah, what's the song?
It's called Oblivion.
Oh, name of the album. So we inadvertently picked the title track.
Wow. Okay, cool. So we'll take a listen to it and then we'll be right back. All right, we just listened to Black Noise featuring Pink Sifu with a song called Oblivion.
So what did you think of that?
I thought it was kind of cool. I liked the beat on it. That was mostly what I kind of became entranced with the beat.
It's kind of a dark, kind of grimy beat that I like a lot.
Yeah, and the song is, even though like it's pretty much just that beat over and over again, the song is short enough that I think it doesn't like it lasts long enough and not too long at the same time.
Yeah.
And
I think that happens a lot with like albums that are albums by producers. I don't know if you've listened to those a lot, like Alchemist is on albums like that, Madlib, where it's just like they make the album, but it's just like every song has a different rapper on it, but it's like the producer's album.
Okay.
Like I feel like that happens a lot where it's just like they have a beat and then, a rapper will rap on the beat and then go on to the next beat.
Yeah, you'll see that a lot too in like electronic music. People like K Tornada, like they use a bunch of features. Somebody like David Guetta also like has a lot of features in the songs. But yeah, actually, I wasn't paying even too much attention to Pink Sifu. Who is Pink Sifu?
Pink Sifu's a rapper out of Mississippi, I think.
All right.
He's part of that underground scene. He had an album in 2018 called Ensley that I really liked, and he appears a lot in this, like, on People Like Mike's album. I think he was on the last Arm & Hammer album. That's Billy Woods and Elucid. So he's a part of that scene.
Okay. Cool. Mississippi's got something to say. And but what'd you think of him?
Pink's. I mean, I gotta pay attention more to his lyrics. I think nothing that he said grab me, but I think he fits on the song.
Yeah,
like he flowed well on it, and I think like the way he sounded well with the beat.
Yeah, I agree with it. Yeah, I think he flowed well. Didn't catch I don't think a single word that he said actually. But yeah, no. For the most part, I think the beat really like took control. Which, I think it's kind of like what you expect from a producer's album. Assuming this is a producer, I don't know.
I'm pretty sure it is.
Okay, cool. Any other thoughts on it or anything?
Nah, it's good. I mean, I like the album as a whole. But it's like that. It's like it's kind of like an idea of a song, and then it goes on to the next song. I mean, I like albums like that. I don't need the song to be fully formed if you give me enough songs that it's like a bunch of cool ideas that I like onto the next kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, no. Maybe I'll check out the rest of it. I thought it was pretty good. Yeah, production pretty good. All right, cool. Oh, this last one. This last one I think is one of the more exciting bands that come out recently. This is a band called Tropical Fuckstorm. But I have a radio show on WMBR 88.1 FM, Cambridge, Boston, and whenever I announce this band, I have to say Tropical F Storm or Tropical F Bomb Storm.
Yeah.
But
we're uncensored, man.
We're censored.
Fuck that.
Fuck Storm. And I've never like anytime that a band has like the F bomb in their name, like you just know that this band like is trying to they're not just trying to slide by. They're not just trying to fit in. You know, there's always something that sticks out about them.
And yeah, I usually don't like it when like.
Yeah, sometimes there's like overly edgy.
Yeah, that's what I say. When a band has something like that in their name, like they have like fuck in their name or something like that, or their name's something like too vulgar, I'm just like, yeah, they just seem like they're coming off too edgy.
Yeah.
But I like Tropical Fuckstorm. So.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah. So we're gonna give this one a listen. It's the latest single from them. It's called Legal Ghost. Legal Ghost. Okay, we're gonna take a spin and then we'll be right back. All right, we just finished listening to Tropical Fuckstorm with Legal Ghost. And
I really like that song. I thought it was really good. I like it's kind of like a slow burner. It starts off kind of slow and then like it ramps up to a very, emotional ending, a very like
it's like crescendo.
Yes.
Yeah, it goes from lentissimo to fortissimo.
I don't know these foreign words.
It is one of those like slowly building up ones.
Yeah. And it's, I don't know, to me it kind of sounded like the melody was a little poppier than they usually do. Yeah,
it did sound very different from like a lot of their other songs. It wasn't like super abrasive either. You know what it reminded me of?
What?
It reminded me of a lot of those like mid to late 2000s indie / post-punk revival bands, like a little bit of Interpol, maybe even a little bit of like LCD Sound System, and like even Arcade Fire, especially when like you have like the interplay between the male vocalist and the female vocalist here.
But just with more like I guess a little more noise / like dissonant stuff, because that's what I like
especially the guitars at the end. I think the
guitars at the end mostly brought, and they had some guitars like interspersed through the song lightly that were a little dissonant and stuff.
Yeah.
But then at the end is when they really bring in the guitars more heavy.
Yeah.
And that's what I like about Tropical Fuckstorm, is that they do have those elements of noise and elements of like dissonant guitars and stuff like that. But it's not usually too abrasive. It's not like
it's not the highlight. It's not the centerpiece. It's just like they're using noise as like what would I say? Maybe not decorative. Decorative seems to make it not essential, but it's
there's like the core of the song is still like. The core structure of the song is still like a song.
Yeah,
there's some like noise bands and stuff like that that's just noise, and they're not trying to make a song.
I mean, like you can say that the guitars are almost like the Edge in U2. I don't know how familiar you are with U2 songs, but like The Edge was always known for being a great guitarist, but he never really took like the front stage. Like it's always like making like atmospheric elements with it, or like carrying the song forward, or adding like emotion to the song through the guitar. But it's never, he's not really one to do like guitar solos or like yeah.
But I think what you said about the 2000s like indie / post-punk revival bands was really accurate, because like the whole time it was reminding me of something, but I couldn't pinpoint what it was. But I think that's it.
Yeah, it also made me realize that all those bands have like more in common than I thought. Like back then, like you just kind of took this song structure for granted. Like because back then, like songs tended to sound a certain way, and like not all the bands sounded the same, but like bands tended to have similar songs, like similar, like you have like the one long song like this one that's a slow burner with atmospheric elements to it. You have like the banger that's like 2 minutes long, and then you like and then you get all your energy out of it. I don't know, like there was like a certain, like bands weren't like single faceted, but they had like a repertoire of styles of songs that they would have, and like this is one of the more common ones. But I thought it was good. I think it it in a way it almost like elevates them in my mind.
This song,
yeah, because not that they've ever been like really a one trick pony, but like they're able to grow out into all these multiple different styles. While still making it their own. Like they're not. It doesn't feel like they're trying to be somebody else. If that makes any sense.
But yeah, I like this song a lot. I don't know if they're leading up to a new album or something, but I hope they are, because I'd be very excited to listen to it.
An album a year keeps the.
Did they have an album last year, or was that 2018?
They've had albums both years. Yeah.
Okay.
As far as I remember. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Fuck it. Who cares?
Yeah.
But so that's been our new music for today. Is there anything you want to add, or?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of a rhyme. An album a year, for your sorrows and fears. An album a year. Yeah, it keeps the headphones near. An album a year. For your laughter and tears.
I'm not good at rhyming, so.
All right, this was the new music section of our podcast. Every week we put one of these out.
Are we even a podcast, or
it's like a video podcast?
Show.
I don't really know exactly what you call these things.
It's like a YouTube show.
It's like a YouTube show at this point, I think, mostly. So we focus on at least. But we do put the audio up in some areas.
Yeah.
But
well, thanks for listening.
Yeah,
guys.
Thanks for listening.
Make sure to like, comment,
smash that subscribe button. Ringle, little dingle, like that bell if you want to get the notifications. Ring-a-ling ding, and then
follow Blood on the Mic on Twitter at Blood on the Mic 1. Follow us at Blood on the Mic on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
Follow me on Twitter at Torna Lewis. Yeah.
Follow my train of thought into the dark pits of. All right, we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.